Hi and welcome back to Save with Crypto. My name is Save with Crypto and it's Sunday the 25th of January 2026. And yesterday I did a video about MultiversX and the 2000th epoch and what it meant for MultiversX. And then I looked at the price of EGLD, I looked at the price of MEX, and they were both very, very disappointing. I did kind of point my finger a little bit at Beniamin Mincu, just saying that I never understand what he's talking about. So I did find this interview from 3 months ago. This was with Beniamin Mincu and Brian Rose from the YouTube channel London Real. I kind of watched it through and I didn't really understand any of it, to be honest, actually. So I decided to ask Perplexity Comet if Beniamin Mincu said anything meaningful in this interview. And the answer was yes, he does, especially if you care about long-term blockchain infrastructure rather than short-term token hype. The main meaningful points, he frames MultiversX as metaverse infrastructure, i.e. a high throughput, low latency base layer meant to support complex apps, gaming, finance, social, AI agents, rather than just payments. He talks about using blockchain to expand the spectrum of human experiences by enabling new economic models, micropayments, global digital work, digital ownership that are not feasible with traditional rails. He positions himself as focused on user experience and real-world adoption, not just cryptography or speculation, arguing that most people will only touch Web3 if it is abstracted behind smooth app-like interfaces. It says, if you're skeptical, if you're looking for concrete technical details, specific throughput numbers, protocol trade-offs, hard data, this particular interview leans more visionary and conceptual rather than technical. If you are tired of metaverse crypto narratives in general, his comments may feel like dressed up marketing, even though they are internally coherent and tie into real problems, user experience, scaling, digital ownership. So I was probably a little bit harsh saying that he talks nonsense. So I asked, did he say anything to persuade current investors that the project is not dead? It said he does, but it is mostly broad reassurance and vision rather than hard investor grade evidence. Signals he gave that it's not dead. He is presented as an active co-founder and CEO doing a new media push in October 2025, which itself signals the project is still running, funded and trying to grow. The interview is framed around reimagining the entire spectrum of human experiences with MultiversX as core metaverse infrastructure, which is a way of saying the long-term mission is intact and ambitious rather than being wound down. So I thought I'd ask, does his vision relate to the performance of the MultiversX token EGLD over the last 5 years? And it says his stated vision and the actual token performance have diverged sharply over the last 5 years. What his vision is, he talks about MultiversX as a base layer for a rich multiverse of applications, merging physical and digital life and creating new opportunities for everybody. The emphasis is on long-term infrastructure, massive future app ecosystems and broad human impact, not on short-term token price action. What has happened to EGLD's price? EGLD peaked around $533 in November 2021 and has since fallen to single-digit dollars, with 2025 closing near $5.5 and early 2026 around $6. Yearly averages show a clear downtrend, about $169 in 2021, 93 in 2022, 38 in 2023, 40 in 2024 and 16 in 2025. How they relate or don't. His vision is about where the tech and ecosystems could be in the future, whereas the last 5 years of EGLD price mostly track the broader boom and bust cycle of altcoins plus project-specific sentiment. Nothing in the interview changes the historical reality. Even if the long-term narrative comes true, current investors have lived through a very large drawdown that the vision alone does not explain away. So I couldn't resist saying, do you think EGLD is a good investment today? And the answer was, as I expected, I can't tell you whether to buy or sell EGLD, but I can outline the key facts and how to think about it. Where EGLD is today. EGLD is trading around $6 in January 2026 after an all-time high near $533 in late 2021. The trend has been strongly down. The average price fell from about $169 in 2021 to about $16 in 2025. Fundamentals and roadmap. MultiversX is still developing. Recent plans include a supernova upgrade targeting low latency and more advanced execution, plus changes to staking and economics. However, the foundation proposed removing the hard 31.4 million supply cap and adding roughly 9.47% annual inflation, which breaks earlier Bitcoin-like scarcity messaging and has upset part of the community. Key risks. Massive historical drawdown means many holders are deep underwater. That often leads to persistent sell pressure on any rallies. Tokenomics changes. Lifting the cap, adding inflation, increase long-term dilution risk and raise questions about governance and credibility. Potential upside arguments. If MultiversX actually ships its roadmap, sub-second finality ecosystem growth, and attracts real usage, today's price could be seen as distressed relative to its 2021 to 2024 history. Circulating supply is still relatively limited versus some other L1s, so a meaningful adoption story could move the price a lot in percentage terms. How to decide for yourself. It may be worth a speculative position only if you accept high risk, you believe they can deliver the tech and rebuild trust after tokenomics changes, and EGLD is a small part of a diversified portfolio. It is likely unsuitable if you want capital preservation, dislike governance surprises, or are already heavily exposed or emotionally anchored to past highs. So it's probably worth asking about XMEX, which is the token of the X exchange, which is one of MultiversX's main products as far as I know. So I'm asking, how about the price of XMEX and MEX? So I said, how about the price of XMEX and MEX that feature in MultiversX's X exchange? Okay, so it says both tokens have been crushed in price and sit at fractions of a cent. They look like very high risk, mostly speculative chips now. Current MEX price. MEX trades around 10 to the minus 7 to 10 to the minus 6 US dollars per token as of January 2026, with tiny moves in absolute terms. In X Exchange's own Explorer, recent trades show prices like 0.000 whatever USD equivalents, illustrating how far it is from any meaningful per token value. XMEX versus MEX. XMEX is the locked energy version of MEX used for governance, boosting rewards and fee sharing. You obtain it by locking MEX for 1 to 4 years of energy. XMEX itself is not freely traded like MEX. Its effective value is tied to MEX's market price plus whatever boost or fees you earn, so the collapse in MEX undercuts its economic appeal. What this means in practice, for anyone who farmed or received airdrops, the dollar value of large MEX bounces is now generally very low, and locking into XMEX concentrates you in a thin liquidity ecosystem token. Unless you expect a strong recovery in MultiversX DeFi activity and sustained demand for MEX utility, trading, incentives, governance, both MEX and XMEX behave more like distressed DeFi reward tokens than core investments. Okay, well that was very interesting from Perplexity. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. This time I will refrain from saying what I think because I really want to hear from you. While you're down there, please do give the video a big fat like and make sure that you are subscribed and you have the notifications turned on. And above all, have a great Sunday and tell your friends.